Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. First, the Talking Online PDF cheat sheet. Learn the must-know internet slang and all the internet-related vocab and phrases in your target language with this PDF cheat sheet. Second, can you talk about video games in your target language? You'll learn how to say RPG, settings, lag, and much more. Third, how to learn from home, learning strategies. Want to learn the language from the comfort of your home? This 1-minute lesson gives you all the best tactics for learning languages. Fourth, 45 must-know gym words such as cardio, bench press, deadlifts, leg day, and other words that you can't skip or miss. You'll master all the must-know gym words with this next vocabulary lesson. Fifth, how to order food in your target language. This next 1-minute lesson will teach you the 20 most common phrases and questions you'll need at a restaurant. And sixth, free language learning audiobooks for anyone who's watched this far. If you visit the link below, we'll send you over to our library of language learning audiobooks, which you can get for free. Save them to your device and listen and learn. They're yours to keep forever. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire.
Merhaba, ben Seda. Welcome to turkishclass101.com. Nasılsınız? Umarım herkesin keyfi yerindedir. Today I will be talking about June in Turkey. First of all, let's learn the word June. It is Haziran. Haziran. Haziran. And how is the weather in Haziran in June? I can say it's generally very hot, but let's look at the stats a little bit.
Okay, this is Turkey map. As you can see, left side is Europe, right side is the Middle East, and here you see Istanbul. This region is the Marmara region, okay? You see Istanbul, Bursa, Çanakkale, Balıkesir, that's Marmara region. And when you go south a little, you see the Aegean Sea and the Aegean region. And when you go a little bit east, that middle side is the Anatolia, Middle Anatolia, and the seaside is the Mediterranean region. You see Fethiye, Antalya, Mersin, Adana. And when you go east a little bit more, you see the southern East Anatolia with Gaziantep, Şanlıurfa, and then the eastern Anatolia with Van and the other cities, and you see the Van Lake here. And when you go up to the north, you see the Black Sea region, and it takes all the way from the east towards the west. Okay, this is our country, and it's like that.
If you want to learn in detail, I will put a government site link here and you can check it out if you're planning to visit, okay? Let's give you some stats. Turkey's annual average temperature in 2021 in June was 21.8 centigrade. Okay, it's not Fahrenheit, we use centigrade. So this value is like a half point above from 89 to 28. And in June 21, the lowest temperature was observed in Sivas. It was minus 1.3, and the highest was in Cizre, was like 45 degrees. And in June, the highest rainfall was recorded in Zonguldak with 114 millimeters, and lowest was in Şırnak with 0.2. Okay. This was the weather, and let's talk about the special days in June. We don't have many, but there are some occasions. First of all the K and 12 schools closed during June. The date changes every year, but the last day of school generally is in the third week, sometimes the second week. And there are important exams for students in June. One is university exam and the other is high school entry exam. And even though the dates differ every year, they again happen in June. It's the third week, fourth week, sometimes the second week. And we have Father's Day in June. Babalar Günü. Babalar Günü. And it also doesn't have a specific day, but it happens in every third Sunday. And generally the families spend time together and share gifts, and that's it. And don't forget, sometimes Ramadan and sacrifice holidays can be in June. But because of the religious holidays, different calendar is followed and the dates change every year. That's all for the special days in June. And we also have a poem called Haziran'da ölmek zor. It's hard to die in June. The poet's name is Hasan Hüseyin Korkmazgil, and I will copy a part of the poem here so you can try reading and understanding it. If you like it, you can search for the rest.
İşten çıktım. Sokaktayım. Elim, yüzüm, üstüm. Başım gazete. Sokakta tank paleti. Sokakta düdük sesi. Sokakta Thomson. Sokağa çıkmak yasak. Sokaktayım. Gece leylak ve tomurcuk kokuyor. Yaralı bir şahin olmuş yüreğim. Uy anam anam. Haziranda ölmek zor. Havada tüy, havada kuş, havada kuş soluğu kokusu. Hava leylak ve tomurcuk kokuyor. Ne anlar acılardan güzel Haziran. Ne anlar güzel bahar. Kopuk bir kol sokakta çırpınıp durur.
Again, one of the famous singers called Teoman has a song called Haziran. The lyrics from the chorus is something like this. Bir kalp atışında, o yaz sıcağında, bir damla gözyaşımla bitmiş Haziran. The translation is roughly something like this. In a heartbeat, in the heat of the summer, with a drop of my tear, June is finished. Okay, I hope you get some feeling how June goes for Turkish people. And a lot of people start going on vacations in June. Since the weather gets really hot and it's the sea season, and Turkish people generally goes to Ege or Akdeniz region for swimming. Çanakkale, Balıkesir, İzmir, Aydın, Muğla, and Antalya, Alanya. These are some very popular destinations for swimming vacation. And Karadeniz region is in the north and not very popular for beach holidays, although we have a sea there, due to different climate, and that region is generally rainy and colder. And there are a lot of forests there, so you can go to those forests for a visit, but people generally don't swim in the Karadeniz region, and the sea is also very wavy, not a very calm swimming area, so it's not as fun as Ege or Akdeniz. Okay, that was it, guys. There's not much about June. We talk about the weather, we talk about the vacations, we talk about the special days, we talk about some poetry and songs. I don't know if you have any memory or experience in Turkey in June. If so, please leave some comments and I will see you next time. Görüşürüz. Hoşça kalın. Merhaba, nasılsınız? Ben Seda, hoş geldiniz. Welcome to Turkish Class 101.com. Today we will talk about legends in Turkey. That's a fun idea. And you know, Turkey being a homeland to so many cultures for thousands of years, have numerous legends I can't fit in a one single lesson. So I will pick the ones I think you may not know, so you'll learn something. But for example, Trojan horse, that myth, that ancient Greek myth actually takes place in Turkey. So you get the idea. So I can say, I think in every village, if you go on a tour, on every village in Turkey, you will hear some kind of legend, different legends in those villages. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. The first legend is, I think, a common legend, the Persian and Kurdish and Turkish and myth, I can say. Thousands of years ago. This is about Shahmeran. There were snakes living underground in Tarsus. These snakes called Meran, and they were very smart, compassionate, and lived in peace. The queen of Meran, the snakes, was called Shahmeran. Shahmeran was a young and beautiful woman. According to the legend, the first person to see Shahmeran was Cemshah, and she was kind of a snake, beautiful woman, a mixed woman. So, Cemshah was the son of a poor family, and one day Cemshah and his friends discovered a cave full of honey. So his friends who had taken Cemshah down to extract the honey left him there, so that, you know, more honey would fall to their share, and they fled. Bad friends, right? Anyway, Cemshah saw a hole in the cave and realized that a light was leaking from it, and he was curious, so he went there to look what happened. And he saw a unique flowers, a pool, and many snakes. He saw a garden with many snakes in it. And because there was no way out, he lived there for many years and gained the trust of Shahmeran, the leader of all those snakes. And years later, he said that he missed his family and begged to live. And Shahmeran asked him to promise that he would, she would release him, but he couldn't tell anyone about her whereabouts because it was a secret. And Cemshah kept his promise. He said, okay, I will not tell us all. And he kept his promise for many, many years and didn't tell anyone. And one day, the king of the country fell ill. And the vizier of the country said that, the cure for this disease was to eat the meat of, mysterious Shahmeran. And news was spread everywhere. And they learned that Cemshah knows where she lives. And he was forced to reveal the location of the well and of the garden and of Shahmeran, of course. And Shahmeran was taken out, and before she was killed, she said to him, boil me in a pot and make the vizier drink my water and feed my meat to the sultan. And the vizier died of the water, and the sultan recovered and made Cemshah his vizier. And Cemshah learned a lot of medicine, information from Shahmeran. So anyway, according to the legend, the snakes don't know that Shahmeran was killed, and it is rumored that Tarsus will one day be invaded by snakes who learn that Shahmeran has been killed. We'll see. Okay, this has different versions, but this was one of the versions, and they're all end up Shahmeran being killed. Okay, the next one is Al Karısı, Red Wife or Red Lady. This one is a little different because it's kind of scary. It is a creature believed to hunt women and horses in the postpartum period in Turkish and Altaic folk beliefs. It is said that the Al Karısı rode the horses, braided the hair of the horse she was riding, and made them run until they were sweaty and very tired. And the basis of the legend goes back to shamanism. And according to this belief, it is this genie is fed with the lungs of the postpartum woman and the newborn baby. And in some parts of Anatolia, Al Karısı, it's like a genie that is said to appear woman in the postpartum period who have just given the birth and causing them to be terribly afraid, sick, and even to die by suicide. So this genie is said to harm newborn babies as well, sometimes kill, sometimes take them, sometimes eat them. Different regions, different stories. And in some areas she's called albasması. Albasma, it's like a red flush. And it is believed that there are various remedies to protect from Al Karısı, not leaving the postpartum mother alone, constantly turning on the lights, not allowing darkness to settle in, putting Quran at her bedside, and covering her face with a red veil, at least put a red scarf or something like that. These are some of the protections, some of the ways to protect yourself. So that's it. Okay, the next one is again a woman. The legend is Sarı Kız Efsanesi, Legend of a Blonde Girl. This is about Kaz Dağları, Ida Mountains, and the story goes like this. A daughter and a father settle at the foot of Kaz Dağları, Ida Mountains, and they earn their living by shepherding. They shepherd, and the girl shepherds geese. And years pass, and Sarı Kız grows up and becomes beautiful woman. And his father is old and religious, so she encourages her father to go on pilgrimage. And under those, the conditions of the day, it's not that easy to go on pilgrimage and come back. So this journey sometimes takes 6 months or more. And the old man entrusts his beautiful daughter to his neighbor and leaves. The young men of the village who take advantage of this opportunity aspire to circus, but circus heart is not in any of them, and they slander the girl. And then her father comes back from the pilgrimage and realizes that the village is in a state of coldness towards him and his daughter. And when he asks around what's going on, he learns about the bad rumors about his girl, and he has to either believes or has to do something about it. And according to the custom of the village, actually he must kill his daughter. Horrible, of course. Anyway, the father couldn't do it, so he takes his daughter and takes her to the Kaz Dağları, Ida Mountains, and he leaves her on the summit of the mountains. Anyway, years pass, and they say, the rumors starts to spread, that they say the passengers who lost their way on the mountain were helped by a beautiful blonde girl with geese following her. And upon what is told, Sarı Kız's father takes the road to the mountain and he sees his daughter who is taking care of the geese in the current Sarıkız Hill area, and this is surrounded by walls. And his daughter, who sees him, she gets really happy, and she pays her respect to her father, and they like hug and stuff. And the father wants to make ablution for prayer with water. He needed water, and he couldn't find any water. So her daughter Sarıkız said, okay, wait father, I will bring you water. And she goes and comes back in 5 minutes, the water, and you know, there's a big distance between the mountain and the sea, and the father realizes that her daughter brought the water from the sea. And all of a sudden he realizes that her daughter has a supernatural qualities, powers, so she must be kept by God. And after realizing this, and that his daughter has been slandered, the father curses the villagers, and according to the belief, no one lives in that Kavurmacılar village today due to the curse of Sarıkız' father. Anyway, the Sarıkız' father couldn't live with the sadness after this incident and passed away in the place known as Baba Tepe today. Baba Tepe means like a father hill. And in order to keep this legend alive, local people make tombs for both her father and the daughter from the flat stones of the mountain. And the hill where Sarıkız' father is located in the Ida Mountains. It's Baba Tepesi, and the mountain Kaz Dağları is coming from Sarıkız's geese, because Kaz means geese in Turkish. So Kaz Dağları means geese mountains. And the place where Sarıkız is found is called Sarıkız Tepesi, Sarıkız Hill. Okay, this was the legend, and we have the last one, Kız Kulesi Efsanesi. Legend of a maiden tower, which is in the middle of Marmara Sea. One of the indispensable places, I think, of the Bosphorus view is undoubtedly the Maiden's Tower. The tower, which was built on like a tiny island of Salacak, Üsküdar, is the subject of many legends. There are different legends about this tower, but one of the most important and well-known is the legend of Leander's Tower, which also gave its name to the tower. And the story of two lovers, Leandros and Hero, who defy the sea between them, will end in tragedy. On a stormy night, when Leandor sees the light in the tower, he thinks that his lover Hera is calling him and jumps into the sea to go to her. And however, this time it's not Hera who turns on the light, but someone else who realizes that lovers meet secretly every night, and then he turns off the light, and Leandros got lost and is buried in the waves of the Bosphorus. And Bosphorus is it has a strong current and wavy. And Hera, who cannot bear the pain of this, ends her life by jumping from the tower to the sea. So they are both dead in the sea. And at the end of the legend, a lighthouse is built on the side of the tower in the name of the lovers. The Maiden's Tower, whose history dates back to like thousands of years, has been used as a defense castle, exile station, prison, quarantine room, radio station, tax point, and a lighthouse throughout its long history. and you can visit it today. Actually, the tower, which is the symbol of Üsküdar, was restored around 2000, I think, by a private company and opened as a restaurant and cafe. So you can take a little kayık and go there and have a meal, drink something, drink wine, drink coffee, drink tea, and enjoy the stories and the legends. Anyhow, that's, I think, all I can say about the legends for now. As I said before, there are so many, but I hope these gave you a sense of what we pass on, what kind of stories we pass on in these lands, and which one did you like most, huh? And have you heard any of them? And some of them, maybe if you are from Iran or something like that, you know, for example, Şahmeran legend. And have you seen any of these places? For example, Kaz Dağları or Maiden Tower. So share them in the comment section. And I will see you next time. Görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın.
Want to... Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, can busy people actually learn a language? You yourself probably have an answer to this question, right? But whether you can or can't actually has a bit more to do with your mindset than anything else. And in this guide, you'll discover 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking Online PDF cheat sheet. Learn the must-know internet slang and all the internet-related vocab and phrases in your target language with this PDF cheat sheet. And second, the 40 words and phrases for ordering food writing workbook. With this free resource, you'll pick up must-know words and phrases for the restaurant and practice writing them out as well. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Can busy people actually learn a language? Part 1. Is it possible for busy people to learn a language and the mindset needed? So, can busy people actually learn a language? What do you think? Leave us a comment and let us know. As much as we want to say yes, it's more of a yes or no depending on the person. Why yes? Yes, because many of our members are busy and are learning with our system. And some of you who are watching also fall into this camp. But it also depends on the person because it's more of a mindset thing. Either you think you have time or you don't. For example, many of our members fall into the group of can learn and can find the time, even if they're busy. If you're busy and still want to learn, if you look around, you can always find 5 or 10 minutes a day, like on a commute. Now, if your mindset is the opposite, if you think you can't learn a language or you don't have time, you won't even try, even if you had a resource that was proven to work. Part 2. Mental bandwidth, the one thing that can make or break your language goals. And if you think about it, if you had all the time in the world but felt like you couldn't learn a language, you wouldn't try either. Again, this is why it comes down to the mindset and why it all depends on each individual person. Either you think you can or you think you can't. But it may not always be this black and white either. It can also depend on your mental bandwidth too. Think back to your school days, those few days before exams. It got really busy and you had to stop everything to study, right? You were probably thinking, if I can just get through studying this week and take the test, then next week I can finally start relaxing and doing other things. And if someone asked you if you wanted to hang out, you would say no, because you're busy. But chances are you still managed to spend at least 30 minutes on YouTube or social media. Meaning you did have some time, even if you were busy. But the test was occupying your mind and taking up all that bandwidth. So it's also possible that we just don't have the mental bandwidth because we're overwhelmed. And this is a genuine reason for not being able to learn when you're busy. Don't worry, in the next part, we'll show you how to get some bandwidth so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Part 3. 5 mindset tricks to make time for language. So if you've gotten this far, you understand that it is possible to start learning a language even if you're busy, that you can find the time, but it mostly comes down to your mindset. So how can you develop the mindset? So when you're too busy, it feels like you're overwhelmed and like you don't have control of your time. Well, there are a few things you can do to gain some control of your time, have some breathing room, and learn a bit of language. First, always set small, measurable goals. This is something that we talk a lot about here. For example, learn for 10, 15, or 20 minutes every day. Learn 100 words in 1 month, which means learning 3 to 4 words a day. And the mindset behind this is just being realistic with your goals and what you can do. Because if you're busy, you may not have 1 or 2 hours. And this is a strict rule, especially when starting out with new goals and languages. Always stick to small, measurable goals. Second, lowering your goals and expectations is okay when things get super busy. If you couldn't learn all 100 words for the month and only got up to 40 or 60, that's okay. If you tried learning on Monday and Tuesday but skipped Wednesday and Thursday, that's okay. Sometimes you have to shift priorities, and prioritizing things is a secret to a successful life. You may not get to the goal you wanted to achieve today, but you can get to it next week. Third, it's okay to put language on pause if life gets in the way. Just like with that last point, you can always come back and reach your goal a little later. We often see learners put language on pause, come back later. Some even come back years later. But the key is to come back. Fourth, avoid the all-or-nothing mindset at all costs. And an all-or-nothing mindset is something you'll see in beginners and perfectionists. When you have this mindset, you'll say, language learning requires hours, so there's no point in learning for a few minutes today. But something is better than nothing, and even 5 to 10 minutes of review adds up in the grand scheme. And in the grand scheme, it's more important to be consistent, even if it's just for a minute a day, rather than study for hours once a week. The brain just doesn't work that way. Fifth, do you have a slowdown or relaxing routine that you do on the weekends or whenever you have free time? And if you didn't do it, you'd feel overwhelmed? Leave us a comment and let us know what it is. For some, it could be reading, watching TV, or going to a cafe and doing nothing for a bit. You're there on your own, you don't have much to do in front of you, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're settled, you start feeling in control. And that's the point you have some mental bandwidth. You can start doing some time management and plan your week out. You can put in a few minutes of language learning. But if you don't slow down and if you feel overwhelmed, you could have the easiest possible way to learn a language. And you still wouldn't do it. So, back to you. If you were busy, do you think you'd be able to learn a language? Leave us a comment. So, thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Do you record yourself speaking your target language? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! Want to learn more words? There's an easy way to boost your vocabulary and speak more of your target language, and it doesn't involve memorization. In fact, all you need to do is press play and listen along as often as possible and get used to the language. What does this mean exactly? Stick around. how to get used to words so you can learn fast and skip the hard work. In this guide, you'll discover 1. How to get used to the language and learn without hard work. 2. Why listening along and increasing your exposure will boost your vocabulary. And 3. How extensive reading can help you learn words faster. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. If you're learning any language, you've probably felt frustrated over the number of words, conjugations, variations, and exceptions that you need to know. And sure, you need to know them, but that doesn't mean you have to study and sweat over them. There is an easier way to learn, and it's simply to get used to the language. And getting used to it just means you hear a word enough times to the point that you just know it naturally. Just like you got used to riding a bike or using a brand new keyboard or smartphone. Eventually, it got easier. And this can work with the hardest words and grammar rules too. You get used to them over time, and suddenly it's easy for you. So, how exactly can you get used to the language and boost your vocabulary? When you join, you automatically get a laid-out step-by-step pathway of lessons to follow. Just press play on a lesson, listen to a conversation in the target language. You hear it again with the translations. Then our teachers explain every word and phrase and grammar rule, and then you hear it one last time. And this is how you start getting used to all the words. You're exposed to it 3 times, which is enough to get the words settled into your brain. And then, when you move on to lesson 2, lesson 3, and so on, you'll encounter these words and phrases again, which is more exposure. So as long as you're taking the lessons and listening to the dialogues, you're getting used to the language over time. You can also re-listen to old lessons if you want, but if you don't, the dialogue tracks give you just the conversation of the lessons, no translations, so that you can review the conversations without retaking lessons and immerse yourself in the language. And you can re-listen to the conversations as much as you want to get used to all the words inside. Kind of like listening to a song until all the words are stuck in your brain. If you just want to listen to words on repeat and get used to them that way, then use our vocabulary slideshow tool, which you can find on every lesson and vocabulary list. Just press play and listen to the words on repeat until they're all stuck in your head. The slideshow plays the audio while showing you the words on the screen so that you can listen and read along. Another proven way to get used to a language and boost your vocabulary is to just read more. Like listening, reading is another form of input or exposure. But what makes extensive reading so special is extensive reading is a strategy where you read as much as possible without stopping over unknown words and continuing on. It's quantity over quality. So you're not given hard material that you'll struggle over, but stories that you'll mostly understand. In fact, our absolute beginner extensive reading books are simple 1 or 2 words per page books, kind of like kids' books. So look for our extensive reading pathway inside the lesson library and follow the lessons one by one. Extensive reading books are available for absolute beginner, and intermediate levels. So, if you want to get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools. Are you brand new to the language? If you are, have you learned the alphabet yet? Because if not, if you don't do it now, you'll only struggle with learning language. How to learn the alphabet in 1 hour or less. Free printable worksheets. And that's why today you'll discover 1. The fastest, easiest, and most obvious way to learn the alphabet. 2. How to get our alphabet workbook for free if you follow these steps. And 3. How you can use this to learn the alphabet in an hour or less. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So, what's the best way to learn the alphabet? Is it a fancy app? Is it a giant collection of flashcards you'll need to memorize? Nope. The best way is to simply practice writing the letters out. Sounds obvious, but in this digital age, writing things out isn't the first thing most people think of. But because you're writing things out and engaging multiple senses, you'll remember everything better than just swiping around on an app and only looking at the letters. And that's where our special alphabet PDF workbook comes in. And you can get it for free if you follow these steps. Don't worry, this takes less than a minute. 1. Click the link in the description. 2. Sign up for a free lifetime account. 3. Once you have your account, come back to the link above, or just click the link in the description and the PDF workbook will be unlocked. And 4. Download and print out the workbook. That's it. And once you have the workbook, you can learn the alphabet in an hour or less, like many of our learners. Just write the characters in the provided spaces. Again, by physically writing things out, you learn faster because you're engaging more senses. And you can also print several copies of the same workbook for extra practice. Once you're done, be sure to immediately move on to reading and writing. This will help cement the alphabet into your brain. And don't worry if you struggle remembering 1 or 2 letters. The rest comes from reading and writing practice. If you want to jump into reading, check our extensive reading books inside the lesson library. The absolute beginner books are simple 1 or 2 words per page books that will get you going. If you want to practice writing, make sure you're signed up to our email list. We email out writing workbooks and cheat sheets every week. So, if you want to get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools. Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.